Having sailed around the world for 20 years, we were in the Arabian Sea on our way from Asia to Europe. Our destination was the Mediterranean, with possible stops in the Maldives, Oman and Yemen. Uligan is one of the northern islands of the Maldives with a population of 500. The island is located right on the track to the Red Sea. Every year dozens of yachts on their way to the Med take a break on Uligan. The islanders earn some of their income selling fuel to the sailors. Scorpio had started this trip in Phuket, Thailand. The distance to Uligan is 1500 nautical miles and the trip took 12 days. We arrived in Uligan on the 27th of January 2011.
In the Gulf of Aden, Somali pirates have been hijacking cargo ships and holding them for ransom. Traveling in small skiffs, it's hard to believe that they could take over a massive ship, but they do so nearly every day of the week. First, they pull alongside their prey and display an arsenal of automatic machine guns and rocket-propelled grenade launchers. If the ship doesn't stop, they don't hesitate to unleash their firepower. RPGs can knock a Black Hawk helicopter out of the sky as easily as they can rip through a ship's hull, disabling or even sinking it. Pirates then throw grappling hooks over the side of the ship and begin to board, while one member keeps the RPG aimed at the hull. Most merchant crews carry only small arms and are not trained to defend their ships from rocket-propelled grenades and machine guns. Within minutes, the pirates are on the bridge and in charge.
The most dangerous area had so far been the Gulf of Aden between Salalah and Aden. We had already in Thailand agreed with several other yachts to meet in Salalah and sail together in a convoy through the most dangerous areas. Everybody would get to Salalah at their own pace. Similar convoys had been arranged successfully the previous year. The idea was to find safety in the numbers, but according to this article, it was pretty nerve-wracking anyway. At the time of our arrival in Uligan, it was clear that the situation had changed radically. The pirates had extended their operations all over the Arabian Sea and further out on the Indian Ocean. All the attacks on this map had been carried out in January. The pirates had expanded their hunting grounds. We were officially allowed to stay in Uligan only 72 hours. If one wants to stay longer, you must obtain a cruising permit for $1,000. The number of yachts in the anchorage rose quickly while we pondered our alternatives. Boats kept arriving, but nobody left. We were advised to report mechanical problems to keep the officials in the capital happy. This was the year when 30 transient yachts simultaneously suffered engine problems in Uligan. The villagers were delighted. This was very good for their businesses. They also helped us organizing potluck dinners. And you're not supposed to be worried sick all the time, are you? The refugee sailors met daily to discuss alternatives and exchange news.
They forgot the boat and took the hostages.
Well, they moved the hostages onto another boat.
Yeah, that's the report we got through.
There was also a tug taken. Oh, I think.
Where is that?
Was that
Point it. Yeah, directly to Salalah. If we go everybody.
So no visa required.
Major order.
So
But whereabouts were they?
Where were they? I don't know, or the crew, but I would hope that they would provide details in terms of Latin long and or they may not have been known until the ransom demand was made. Is possibly what he sent an update to UKMTO, MSCHOA, and Marlow, and at least from here that he was going. His course over at 7 to 11 knots, which moves us along through the group if we had a speakerphone. So I called him and gave him my cell phone number, and he agreed to call us at 4 o'clock our time here to kind of give us all firsthand their assessment of what the situation is, the latest attacks, and I know he's talked a little bit about the routing before. I know Tony's gotten some of that information from him. earlier. I think he'll reiterate some of that and give us some of the latest updates. And he offered to answer any questions. I think it's going to be, I don't think we're going to get direct advice, but I think we might be able to get some direct things not to do possibly. And then he offered to answer any of our questions to a certain extent.
Up as far as the Suez Canal. If your intention is to sail from your present location to Salalah on a run line going roughly 330 in that general direction, you need to be aware of the incidents that have happened in the last month. In the month of January, we have had over 30 separate incidents of vessels being attacked by Somali pirates. Just sales of 1,000 tons. In the last week of December, a South African yacht, the Cochin, was attacked. The crew, the South African couple, were taken off the vessel, and they are now in Somalia of $10 million. If you are attacked, there is no guarantee a warship can come to your aid.
We could form the convoy now in Uligan and carry on towards Salalah. Or we could try sail north around the dangerous area, or return to Thailand, or we could sail south and around Africa. In addition to these 4 sailing alternatives, there was a 5th option. Eventually 17 yachts were lifted aboard a cargo ship and transported from Mali to Turkey. The shipping cost was more than $30,000 for a 43-foot yacht. Our alternatives are described in detail on our homepage. On Scorpio, we finally put the alternatives in this order. The chance of an attack was probably slim even on the direct route, but the consequences would have been totally unacceptable. The chances were better on the northerly route, but no guarantee there either. The most sensible choice was the route around Africa, although this actually wouldn't take you to the Med and is 5 times longer. We hadn't prepared with charts for this route and had not in detail studied the challenging conditions around the southern end of Africa, so we decided to return to Thailand to make new plans. Here we can see some yachts leaving from Uligan on the direct route to Salalah. Scorpio would have to wait for 2 months before our return to Thailand because the northeast monsoon generates adverse winds and current on that route.
Roger, that's great. We'll keep an eye out for you. Roger will be standing by on 16, and I believe it was also 69 and 08, so we'll program those in as well. Over. Roger, we'll do the same.
We used that extra time to explore the magnificent Maldivian archipelago. Here we are approaching the capital Male. Then we heard the shocking news.
The world, there's been a tragic end to a very tense situation for 4 Americans on board a small yacht that was hijacked by pirates in very dangerous waters, waters the Americans knew were dangerous just off the coast of Somalia. As the U.S. was negotiating their release, the ordeal took a sudden, ugly turn. Our report tonight from our Pentagon correspondent, Jim Miklaszewski.
The 4 Americans were on a dream voyage around the world when pirates hijacked their yacht 4 days ago. This morning off the coast of Somalia, FBI negotiators aboard a U.S. destroyer were still talking to the pirates holding the Americans hostage when suddenly it all went terribly wrong. Military officials say without warning, one of the pirates aboard the yacht fired a rocket-propelled grenade at the destroyer. Almost immediately, Americans aboard the ship heard gunshots from below deck on the yacht. Navy SEALs raced toward the yacht in small inflatable boats. Most of the pirates surrendered as the SEALs boarded the yacht, but once below deck, they made a grim discovery.
All 4 hostages had been shot by their captors. Despite immediate steps to provide life-saving care, all 4 of the American hostages died of their wounds.
In a search of the yacht, the SEALs were forced to kill 2 pirates, one in a knife fight, and found 2 others apparently shot dead by fellow pirates. The Americans killed were the yacht owners Scott and Jean Adam of Southern California, and a Seattle couple, Phyllis McKay and Bob Ring.
For what is believed to be the first time Somali pirates have kidnapped children. The pirates hijacked a sailboat carrying a Danish family off the coast of East Africa. The Danish government says a couple and their 3 children, ages 13, 15, and 17, were seized last Thursday.
The Americans chose the northern route, but the Danish steered the wrong line. A year later we sailed the route around South Africa, but that's another story.